You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Welcome back to We Are the Hansons. Today we're diving into what it's like to raise kids who are incredibly close in age. Our two sons, who are just 13 months apart, and our youngest daughters with an even tighter gap of 11 months. If you've ever wondered what life with virtual twins is like, or if you're in the thick of it yourself, this one's for you. So early days for us with close age gaps. Let's be honest, those first few years are pure chaos. I'm telling you, it was chaos for us. When my second son was born, my first was just starting to walk. 2 sets of diapers, double the mess, and minimal sleep. It felt like the baby phase never ended. Then came our youngest 2 daughters, and I thought, I've done this before. How hard could this be? Well, it was harder than I thought. 1, because I had 1 toddler at home with my 2 daughters and 1 in the NICU. And we were in the NICU so long. It was 86 days, everyone. It was a struggle bouncing from home to the hospital. It was a nightmare. But I'm going to start off with my boys because they were my first close in age. They were double trouble. You know, the adjusting part of having kids at close in age, it's tough. It is. It tested my patience and it tested our teamwork between my husband and I and our sanity. I mean, 2 kids crying at the same time. It was rough. It was rough. But we also learned to work together better than ever because when one is crying for something, and usually it wasn't the same thing they were crying for. One probably needed a diaper and one was hungry or vice versa. There's always something else that could be wrong. Maybe one's sick. It just depended. And me and my husband were a good team. Just having to work together with 2 babies real close in age. They both needed our attention. You become a stronger team, much stronger team when you have to deal with 2 babies at one time. That's pretty much what we dealt with. And it was like having twins, except for one could walk and one couldn't. So we always worked together. If we were home together, we worked together. If one had to work and one was home, it was tough, but we made it through. Usually the baby would be sleeping while the other one was up running around. I would always try to get them on the same sleeping schedule so they were both sleeping at the same time. Granted, a lot of times it was hard to do because, when you have a toddler, they usually don't want to go to sleep. They want to play. They want to be up and moving around and getting into things. For my boys, it was a little difficult. My first set of kids that were really close in age, and nobody gives you a book on how to be a parent. There is no book, nothing. You learn as you go. You learn from seeing other people do it. You learn from your family. It is a learning curve when you have children and I wasn't a first-time mom because I was a first-time mom at 18, but I still did not know everything when I had my second boy or my third boy. And because they were so close, I was feeling like I was raising twins, even though they weren't twins. Our son Gavin, when he was a baby, he had what they call a multicystic kidney. So we were in and out of the doctors a lot with him. And just having to go to the doctors with two kids so close in age, it was hard, very hectic, but we did it. We managed to take all the kids with us to the doctor's office and deal with it. As a parent, you have to do what you got to do. And most of the time, the doctors and the nurses, they understand. People always would look at us or ask us questions. You just deal with it. Whatever is asked, you can be honest. People might not like your honesty, but it's tough. It's tough having two kids close in age. With the girls, it was tough, like I said, because one was at home and one was in the NICU. So me and Jeremy had to be gone an awful lot, back and forth to the hospital. We weren't sure if Anna was going to make it through, and she's our youngest. She was the one that was born so early. So we were at the hospital a lot. And even though I felt like I was neglecting my children at home, I knew eventually my baby would be coming home with us. It was just time. And I feel like I missed out on a lot of time with my other kids while I was in the hospital. But I feel like it also made us stronger as a family because your other kids know what you're going through. They feel your emotions and they're very compassionate. At least my children were. My children were very compassionate and understanding, and they helped out a lot. I'm really, really, really proud of every one of them for helping out at home, making sure the house is clean, making sure the little ones get fed, because I could not always be there, nor could Jeremy. And I'm glad that we had other family that came to help out too, sisters, aunts, stuff like that, because it showed my children that they were cared about. A lot of times kids, if you don't have family that would come and give up their own time to help in a situation that is the situation we were in, where we were on pins and needles, not knowing if we were going to ever be able to bring our baby home, if we were going to have to bury our baby. We had no idea, and we were left in the unknown. So with them two girls being so close in age, only 11 months apart, it was tough. I felt like when I was in the hospital all that time with a broken water, that my little Torin didn't remember who I was. even though Jeremy brought them to the hospital all the time, she was my baby, and so having another baby and so close in age, it was hard because I still had a baby at home, and I was so sad that I had to leave her because I was stuck in the hospital and I wasn't there to put her to bed at night and just to be there. I missed out seeing her take her first steps, and I feel like I missed out on a lot of Torrance life when I was in the hospital. But I still got to see her. It wasn't every day because we lived a little over an hour from the hospital, but I missed out as well. So it was rough for me, but I made it through, and we're stronger than ever now. So having kids close in age is definitely not a joke. Some of the unique bonds between the two sets of close siblings, I've always wanted to look back and see their bonds, because as they were growing up, my boys, they were really close. They fought a lot, but they were also best friends. They did everything together. They played outside together. They built forts together. They climbed trees together. They played hide and go seek together and always wanted to hide together. They had a very strong bond, and seeing them today at 17 and 18, I sit here and I'm like, my boys still have that bond. They do almost everything together still to this day. And I know all our kids are super close and they always hang out together and do things together. If you seen my kids out and about, all of them together, you would never know that they were siblings if you didn't know them. You would think that they were all friends. And if they didn't all look similar in looks, you would think they were all best friends, because that's how close our children are. My two boys, they work on their cars together. They go to the mall together. I mean, they do a lot of stuff together still. I'm super proud of them because both of them have worked at McDonald's, and they held that job for a long time. They have both bought multiple vehicles working at McDonald's. And now the only thing that has changed in them is what they want to do for work. Tristan, he likes to build things. He works very hard. He has worked building grain bins, and now he is working doing wood flooring. So the company Tristan works for, they make wood flooring for your home. Gavin, on the other hand, he works in a restaurant as a busser. So Gavin, eventually, when he graduates this May, he wants to either do construction work or he wants to go be a lineman. So each of them have a little different outlook on what they want to do as far as work in life. Gavin is more my type of kid that he's my trouble kid. Let's put it that way. That boy, he likes to drive fast, act crazy, have fun. He's more outgoing, I guess I could say. Tristan is more laid back. He doesn't say a lot when they're out and about. You know, he's very quiet. He doesn't just strike up a conversation with anybody. He lets them, do most of the talking. He's more introvert, maybe. I don't really know. He's just not as crazy. Gavin, he talks to anybody. He doesn't care. He'll just talk. I guess he's more like me, maybe, than anything. Gavin is. So, but it's the most beautiful thing, raising kids so close in age and seeing their bond. It's almost like they're inseparable at most points. They do fight, definitely fight like siblings, but if anybody said anything bad about Tristan, Gavin was always there to back him up. And I'm going to tell you a little story. So my boys were at the park one time, and there's some older kids there, and the one kid had flicked a cigarette at my son Gavin, and it hit him in his arm. And it infuriated Tristan to the point Tristan grabbed this kid, threw him to the ground, and said, "Don't you ever do that to my brother again or put your hands on my brother." He said, "Because next time it won't be so pretty." That is how my boys are. Gavin, on the other hand, somebody at school one time when Tristan was still in school was saying some pretty hurtful stuff about Tristan. And Gavin pretty much took care of that situation. It infuriated Gavin, and he put an end to it real quick. So my boys are like that. All of my kids, I should say, are like that because they will all stick up for one another regardless. You never say anything bad about somebody's sibling in front of them because you're supposed to stand up for your siblings. So my boys do. My girls do as well. We have a little bit of rivalry in our kids. When milestones are only months apart, it's like learning to walk or talk. There's temptation to compare. You know, Gavin would always pick on Tristan and say, "Oh, I walked before you," or he just picked. It wasn't true. He was just teasing them because of how close in age they are. But we had to remind them that every child progresses in their own pace. Not every kid has a tooth fall out and one grows back in before the other. Sometimes Gavin would lose a tooth before Tristan. Sometimes Tristan would lose a tooth before Gavin. Sometimes Gavin had bigger feet than Tristan. It just depended. Everything was different about them, even though they were so much alike. So that is some of the stuff. Now, Torin and Anna, which are our two youngest daughters, they are only 11 months apart. So their clothing, they pretty much shared clothes, and they still do to this day. Anna definitely is a little bit bigger than Torin weight-wise, but shoes, clothes, everything that Torin wears, Anna can wear. Everything that Anna wears, Torin can wear. So there's so much stuff that they have that is similar as well. They fight a lot, but they like a lot of the same stuff. So if, when Christmas time comes around or birthday stuff, they usually ask for almost the exact same stuff, but different colors. Gavin and Tristan, they are similar too, except for Gavin likes a little bit different style than Tristan. Tristan has kind of turned country, and he likes the cowboy country western wear, as Gavin likes the new hip hop today style in boys' clothes and stuff. So they're just a little bit different in that sense. They do like different colors. Tristan likes orange. Gavin, he wears a lot of black. He likes blues too. So they're different in that sense. Torin and Anna, on the other hand, it's really hard to get them something different, because if I pick out something different for each of them, then they're fighting over it. So they're more like twins than they are not. if you get my drift. Same with hairstyles for Torrin and Anna. Each of them like the same hairstyle. If I braid one's hair, the other one needs a braid too. I try and do it a little different because I think, to be honest, I think they like acting like twins because a lot of people question if they're twins because they look so similar, but they're not. So I try and do a little bit different hairstyle on each of them to kind of separate the looks a little bit. Just so, they can be their own self. I try and tell them all the time, you guys do not have to dress alike. You guys can dress different. When we go shopping for clothes, they tend to pick out almost the exact same outfits as each other. I mean, it's weird, but it's true. So here's some things that I've learned along the way. Routine is key. When everything feels a little overwhelming, the thing that you should remember is a schedule should be made. It's a lifesaver. I have, from diaper changes to bottle feedings to who's getting a bath, every day schedule when they were little. It helped us a lot. We often have to help each other out. Jeremy was always there helping me, whether you change this diaper, I'll change this diaper, or I'll feed a bottle, you get him or her some food. So we always tried to focus on who was going to do what, and we had a schedule, and that's what we went by. Because it does get very, very, very hard. I don't know how many times that we had changed diapers or whatnot, and I'd be like, did you just change him? Or he'd ask me, did you change him? We always knew, yep, I changed him, you changed him. You got to prioritize time together as well. Because it's easy to let your relationship take a back seat. It happens in every relationship. But staying connected as a couple has helped us handle the chaos a lot better in our family. So, looking back, I would not trade any of those hectic years for anything because that is what made us the parents we are today. They were yet exhausting, but filled with so much love and laughter. I mean, I don't know how many times we laughed at some of the ridiculous stuff that we probably did because, me, pretty much as a new parent, having two kids so close in age with Tristan and Gavin, I mean, yeah. So it does get chaotic, but it's special and it's a lifelong bond you see your kids have. Even though all of our kids are close, Tristan and Gavin and Torrin and Anna are a lot closer, if you can understand what I'm saying there, because they are so close in age. I am going to finish up here tonight by saying life is chaotic. And as a parent, if you have children close in age, it's okay to make mistakes. Everybody does. There is not a perfect person on this earth, not a perfect person at all. So it is stressful and chaotic, but you can get through it. I know life doesn't hand us a book, and it never has. It will never hand you a book. No parent is ever prepared for kids. No matter how many kids you have, you're still never prepared. Never. So I want you guys to know that we have 13 kids, and when you have two kids that are close in age, it makes it even worse. It's more chaotic. So, that being said, raising kids with such small age gaps isn't easy, but it's an adventure, and we wouldn't trade it for anything. The sleepless nights and the endless piles of laundry are temporary, but the relationships they're building will last a lifetime. If they're in the trenches of close in age, parenting, hang in there. It's definitely worth it. Thanks for joining us on We Are the Hansons today, and we'll see you next time. You can go subscribe to our YouTube channel on We Are the Hansons. You can reach out to us on Facebook at We Are the Hansons, or you can send us an email at wearethehansonsshow@gmail.com.